So, what are we talking about today? Talking about the fact that it probably should have started like this, with me eating Brazil nuts, not smoking cigarettes. Do like Brazil nuts. Pretty fresh from the gym. I've already recorded a video. I watched it back. I may have been a little bit too, a little bit buzzy for my own good. So I figured I'd sit down and have a few breaths before I actually try to get any salient points across. And now I've got the saliva absorbing effects of the Brazil nut distracting me quite a large level. And fear not, it shall pass. So I kind of had 3 days that have, for want of a better word, been pretty shit. I've been down. I felt vulnerable. I felt angry. I felt pretty sad. I felt very lonely. And for a while, I didn't really think there was anything I could do about it. I was down. I wanted to be away from it all. I wanted everything to change. You know, I was at work today. I realised that, you know, I'm a cog. You know, and it's when you think about being a cog, it's not nice to be a cog. You know, I'm not doing my own thing on a day-to-day basis, and I watch my hours getting eaten up by something that I do in order to fund everything else. Yet there's no time left to for those things to be funded in. And then an alarm bell went off in the back of my head. Not literally, because I'm not actually a cog. And like, shit, you haven't done any training for 3 days. You know, and during those 3 days, instead of looking after yourself, you've either been sitting around like a damp blanket, or getting absolutely cunted, and neither of which are very good for supporting a strong mental state. So anyway, I finished work, came in, straight to the gym, immediately to the gym. And it's Monday, and on Monday we focus on arms. I got in there, I smashed out a mile in 4.5 minutes. I started doing a little bit of a kettlebell and core circuit. I dragged the punch bag out the corner, did 3 5-minute rounds on that, started to sweat, warmed up, I was warm, stretched out, went to the weights room. All it took is that the gym is cheating at life. 20 kilograms in this hand, 20 kilograms in that hand. Lie on your back on a bench, skull crush the fuck out of those 40 kilograms. And on set number 2, it happened. You enter what they cringe-worthily refer to as the zone, and the smile spread across my face, and you realise that, with a few simple yet difficult movements of the human body, the demons have been exercised. I spent 10 years sitting at a bar with my head in philosophy, writing shit down, trying to exercise those demons, and they never fucking went anywhere. They grew, and they got the better of me, and life went to shit. to say, that's being polite about it. And then I found training. I think I found training because I had to find training, and now I can be in, I'm in some of the worst mental states, I can put myself in. And, I do believe that we put ourselves in these mental states. They don't happen to us, they don't come and find us. We have no. It's not like we don't have any choice in the matter. You know, it's maybe not easy, but you know, we are responsible for how we feel. But that's for another blog entirely, I think. So I can be in any of these states, and all I have to do is walk into a gym or the boxing club and exert myself physically, which in turn means that I have to exert myself mentally in order to keep pushing myself through what is essentially pain, as enjoyable as it may be. And everything gets left there. It doesn't follow me home. It doesn't tap on my shoulder 15 minutes later when I walk through my front door. It just goes. It's like a reset button. And I imagine you're more than welcome to hunt me down and tell me that I'm full of shit, but I'm pretty sure all the people who are engaged in you know, quite heavy physical exercise will tell you that it's a nice feeling. Endorphins are wonderful things, and I definitely recommend having a little play with them. So that's kind of it. I don't need to reiterate the gym being cheating at life thing. That's done. But yeah, I was speaking to someone about the blog, and you know, where it should go, how it should develop, and you know, perhaps it needed more structure. I should start having bullet points, and to a degree I'll keep them in the back of my mind, but I still want kind of an organic flow. I want things to pop into my mind, and if they don't pop into my mind, I'll just and at you, and you can look at me like a twat, but I'm fine with that, because at times and I'm a bit of a twat. But one thing they did ask was, you know, who are your influences? To which I replied with, I don't know if I want to give specific examples, because I think all of them possess a very similar philosophy, and that is quite simply, these people have very strong desires to see how much they can physically and mentally push themselves in order to physically and mentally progress. I mean, obviously you've got bloggers like Elliot Hulse and Jeff Thompson and Martin Rooney, not so much a blogger, who are all inspiring people to do these things. And I suppose I'm the 29-year-old a million miles away who's giving it a shot anyway, but hey, what the fuck. But it's just that mindset that, you know, we have A, which is birth, and we have B, which is death, and we've got a straight line, you know, from there to there, whether we like it or not. We don't know when B's going to come, but, you know, should we be aware when B's going to come, I imagine the last thing we want to do is look back on the journey from A to B and go, the fuck have I done? You know, I've sat around playing a fucking Xbox, or, you know, just been constantly taking substances, or fucking sitting on my arse watching TV and regurgitating shite. That's the last thing we want to be able to, well, the last thing we have to say. You know, it doesn't really compute with me. So drilling that back into who inspires me, I guess it's anyone who shares that mind frame. And they're interesting people to be around, you know. They are people who will say they're annoying as fuck, but without being a little bit crass, they tend to be out of shape and miserable. And of course it's annoying, you know. It's jealousy often takes takes its form in annoyance with other people, and I'm guilty of that. I'm definitely guilty of that. So yeah, and that's it. That's my inspiration. You know, I enjoy being around these people. I enjoy hearing from these people, hearing what they have to say. You know, some of them are further down the line, some of them are just starting. But either way, it excites me. Something to talk about. You know, granted, I'm not into conversations with people who just go to the gym and lift weights and want to be huge. You know, this is solely the people who are really, really pushing themselves, you know, in both the mental and physical spectrum. And I'm waffling now. I'm doing that thing where I go over the same thing and try and see how many different ways I can word one point, mainly to kill time until the next idea comes into my head, which is That's basically who I am. So I'll go, is what I'll do, eat some more Brazil nuts and not have to try and talk at the same time. But yeah, so I've just been to the gym. Sorry, I was pulling calluses off my hand earlier on. But yeah, you know, think about it. If you're in a rut at the moment, if you wake up every day and you don't want to do anything, and you kind of feel tight, and almost as if you're like curled into this ball that you can't uncurl out of and get up and do anything. When you start training, it's not going to be amazing. It's going to be far from amazing. When I started, half a mile made me throw up loads. I didn't feel great. I was 27 and I couldn't run half a mile. Which is something that I would now consider fucking embarrassing and unexcusable. But I imagine, I don't mean to offend, there's probably quite a few people out there who are in a similar situation, but it has to be like that at the beginning. But I think you have to take the word of the people who have done this, because after a while it's no longer horrific. It becomes something that you do, and as a result of it, you are rewarded with endorphins and just an increased sense of well-being, and as a an ego bonus, you can watch yourself physically improve. So all I can say is, if you're one of those people who are in the shit, that, again, I don't mean to be rude, but you have allowed that to happen to yourself, no one else has done that, then just give it a go, 3 times a week, stick with it for a month. If you hate it for a month, you might like it straight away, but if you hate it, just stick with it a month, see what happens, and I believe it will work for everyone. It might not be the cure for anxieties and depression and self-loathing, but I think it will certainly ease the tension. And I'm guessing is that one of the many meanings of life, to do the things and find the things that ease the tension. But I think it's probably within our interest if we pick the ones that are good for us, not the ones that are easy. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you listened, if you didn't, it doesn't really matter, because you're not here at this point anyway. So speak to you soon.
Lie in the gutter with your own 2 fists and fight your way to the skies, whilst your old you dies. The man looking back in the mirror, well, he's on